The set design for Euryanthe was inspired by psychology of the piece, and it's not attempting at realism, and because the piece is so symbolic, we were much more interested in creating a psychological space that will reflect the emotional transformations of the characters. This whole piece to us was about society that tries to create a very orderly structure that marriage is supposed to go this way and relationships supposed to go this way, and that's why you'll see that the entire set is extremely symmetrical. At first that we see it, it's very neoclassical, very symmetrical, very pastel colors, nothing stands out. It's kind of like how we would ideally perfectly as a society like to function, right? No conflict, no mistakes, no strong emotions. And that's reflected in the set in the beginning. But then as the story progresses and as elements like jealousy and envy start to creep in to the story, we actually realize that the structure is not as solid as we initially thought. And these emotions of jealousy and envy, they're very destructive, but they're also very natural to us because we all have them, regardless of our race or origin. We all experience them as human beings. And so that's the psychological inspiration for the piece. I think what's interesting with this piece, visually it looks very simple, but technically it's extremely complex to achieve what we want to achieve. And there are two scenic shops that are involved in building this. There are going to be, obviously complicated props. There are going to be a lot of true natural elements that come from nature. They're not fabricated, that are going to be introduced. And there are just dozens of very, very talented people that are currently working on building this piece. And I think that most of the magic will happen off stage, so the audience won't see the mechanics, but the mechanics are quite complicated to figure out. So it's really exciting to be working with such incredible engineers and craftsmen to see how they solve the ideas that we have. When I come to the theater, I looked at my drawings and then I see it, 27 feet high being on stage. So, so it's always this magical moment of just seeing it born, What I in particular like about my job and what I do is, we create mini worlds. We create mini universes that didn't exist before. And every show is its own world. And I feel like that's the beauty of stage art, theater, opera, dance, because it does allow for this creation of very complex worlds that take dozens and hundreds of people to produce, really. But then they bring these realities to the audiences that the audiences would never see anywhere else.